Live and direct. It's Sway in the morning.
Right here on Shade 45.
There was a lot of unanswered questions, and, you know, Ray, you experienced, I couldn't even imagine, you know, a man died because of a fight you had. And every time a boxer steps in the ring, you never know what the outcome is going to be. It could have been you. Duk Koo Kim from Korea, you and him fought, was it November 3rd?
November 13th, yes.
Yeah, 1982.
You're right.
And it was a magnificent fight.
Yeah.
You know, he was the number one contender at the time.
Yeah.
And that's when fights were 15 rounds.
Right.
And because of the damage he suffered, the head trauma, he ended up passing away. Do you? You remember each round of the fight? How does that?
Oh, I remember that fight very, very clearly in my mind. It's been with me forever, and it always will be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's one of those fights that it was, other than the outcome, it was a great fight.
Yeah.
It was a great fight. And it would be one of the fights you'd be seeing on ESPN Classic all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
But because of it, there's nothing good. Nothing good about it now. But you know, the one thing I'm proud of about the documentary is it shows his mindset. You know, if you see the documentary, he says, you know, his corner trainer said he brought a coffin. He put it in the room when he was training. Yeah. And he said to people, either I'm coming home in that or Mancini's going home in that.
Yeah.
I mean, to hear things that, you know, the mentality of a fighter, especially, you know, I always say, fighters say things all the time. I used to say, look, you're going to have to kill me to beat me for my title.
Yeah.
You in your heart, you fight to the death for that because that means so much to you. But you don't mean it's a figurative, not literal.
Yeah.
But in this sense, he said, you know, either I'm coming home in that or Mancini's going home in that. That's scary. And that's scary to think that he had that mindset to know that he was going to come one way or the other. And unfortunately, it just, who knows? I mean, it happened the way it happened because he fought with such determination and such desire. I mean, I was hitting this guy with shots and then, you know, and no matter what, he'd always come back after each round. He'd be pushing me back, banging me. Yeah. You know, and it was the only fight I ever thought of in the middle of the fight. I said, man, I don't want to do the next round. I want to quit. Yeah. Because my body was hurting so bad. My head was hurting so bad. Wow. But it's funny how you know, they always say the body's the army, the mind's the general. It's the body will do whatever the mind tells it. Yeah. The strength of mind, it's funny what our mind does. And my mind, you know, my body want to quit, but my mind won't allow it.
You know, and the unfortunate thing is that Ray Boom Boom Mancini at that time, you were like you were a rising star attraction.
You know, I always tell people, Ray Leonard, we were friends at the same time, and Ray Leonard was Marlon Brando. I was James Dean. Yeah. I was on the climb. You know, it was just I was on things. So many good things were happening for me and on the horizon, and then that happened. So
and now, and his mom, as a result, because after his death, he became even more famous of a figure because of the tragedy, and his mom ended up drinking a lot of pesticide and committing suicide. Right?
They said because of there's so much infighting on with the family about his money, the insurance money, and whatever he had. There was so much infighting that she couldn't take it, and so she took her own life. Yes.
And even the referee.
Now, Richard Green, who was a friend of mine, and I've talked to his daughter since. Richard, you know, he suffered from depression. Now, obviously, the fight, I'm sure, you know, obviously had affected him in life. But by everybody counted himself admirably, including Richard. Yeah. There was nothing Richard could have done, step in sooner or anything. It wasn't anything like I was beating Kim, you know, and Richard let it go on. It was one punch. In the middle of the ring, in the middle of an exchange. Richard, you know, his daughter said there was other things in his life that accumulated that he's, you know, that when he took his life, it was a barrage of things. There were a lot of things, but of course, this always affected him, of course, but it wasn't the reason why he did it.
Okay, no. but here's the thing: at that time, people didn't know.
Oh, sure.
And at that time, people blamed you for all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had to carry the burden of that, man. How did you?
Well, Sway, my faith. My faith in God. You know, I say my prayers. I rely on my faith, and that's, you know, it's just that's it. I mean, I'm strong. You know, I was brought up that way. Rely on your faith. Rely on yourself. Rely on your family, and God got me through it. Gave me the strength. And you know, we don't answer. We don't know. You know, I say my prayers every night and say, God, I don't know the answers. Just give me the strength to deal with things, and that's all.
It's Sway in the morning, only
on Shade 45.